यहाँ सबैलाई आजको यस सेसनमा यस कार्यक्रममा स्वागत गर्न चाहन्छु. I would like to invite our guest Professor Dr. Varaj sir to present the working paper. Sir, please take the floor.
I am basically a policy maker and implementer in Indian government. For that purpose, there are 30 million commercial vehicles running on the road. For that, we have to set up something like 500 testing stations all over the country. I am the person who introduced that first testing center in 2004. Today I am running about 30 centers and 30 more I am setting up in Maharashtra. That is where the government should put their stress on and lay the responsibility and lay down a strict rule. Whosoever import the vehicle, he should also have a responsibility of battery collection, which are old vehicles. Or anybody who is selling the battery, he is an agent or a dealer, put a responsibility on him that old battery he collects before he sells the old one.
Similarly, I would like to invite our distinguished guest, Mr. Jatin Makhar sir.
So I am going to speak about the battery recycling and ecosystem. My name is Jatin. I represent Loham. So our mission is to become the world's largest producer of critical minerals across India and other countries as well. So these are a couple of facilities which we have in India. We are based out of Delhi, near to satellite town to Delhi. So typically for two-wheelers, we need a compact size. That's the reason there is an NMC battery over there. For LFP, the longevity is required plus the safety. That's the reason LFP is there. These are some of the partners which are present in Nepal also. We are engaged with in somehow with the dealership network and the OEM so that we can collect the batteries over there. And Nepal in fact should not have the landfills for the batteries which is there.
Now introduce our group. I belong to Sage Group from India. It's a conglomerate based out of Central India. Within the energy domain is our lithium-ion battery recycling that we started in 2024. I am Karan Khurana. I started this company in 24 and we are growing it in India today. And I'll talk more about Rebat or the recycling division in the presentation. I think four major benefits that we see in terms of battery waste management is one, safety aspect. We need to make sure that we take this waste as a hazardous waste and we take or manage or transport it in a very safe manner with respect to compliances, safety tests or facility licensing. All of those things have to be taken care of, because these batteries can also catch fire under different circumstances. For example, NMC batteries, they've caught fire across the globe, not just in a single country, but across the globe in the beginning years. And you might have heard some cases in India as well. If Nepal has to go through this, or if we are thinking of building this here, I think the first thing to look at is from the safety point of view. Other than that, Nepal is actually doing great in terms of transition to EVs. Obviously, we've heard a lot. They're number 2 behind Norway. 80% of the vehicles almost we heard this year. 90% of Nepal's electricity comes from hydroelectricity. Again, a green space where Nepal has great heights already. 95% is the national penetration for EV adoption, which is targeted in 2030. All this is wonderful, and this brings in so many opportunities for Nepal to look at their EV battery reuse and recycling here. We have our patented technology. We have 7 patents, different processes, different varieties or types of batteries that we're working on. And we have an efficiency of 95% recovery. And we recover everything from lithium to cobalt, nickel, and copper specifically in this domain. We also have a specialized, new product that we've come up with, which is electrolytic, manganese, which we will be launching very, very soon from the same waste.
So, आज अहिलेको हाम्रो यो टोटल डिस्कसन चाहिँ पहिला ब्याट्री म्यानेजमेन्टबाट नै सुरु गर्नेछौँ. So we'll start with battery first.
Whenever we see as a battery, we see as a valuable material. It's like a gold which you have, which you try to store it at home. We don't see it as a hazardous waste. We see it's a battery waste, but it's a valuable material. In terms, if I have to give you a number, let's say energy prices is going for $100 per kilowatt hour. If you reuse that, you will get a $40 per kilowatt hour. But the recycling value will fetch only up to $10 to $20 per kilowatt hour.
So that is the final end of life value that you get from the battery, right? It is 100% valuable, and the only way to deal with this thing in B2C is basically giving value back to the customer. If the customer has a value back, he will have an incentive to replace the battery with an authorized person, and that battery will go back to the system. That is when you start extracting value from a collection ecosystem. Once collection is done, then you move further. So 100% there is value, and 100% there has to be a reverse mechanism where people and end users get value out of the waste.
So, based on your experience, in terms of homologation, what, especially because we have even like a policymaker in as a panel today, So maybe what you can highlight, what we should be looking first as a initial policy draft for the EPR, if it has to be, like, how important it is, and why it could be so valuable for the country like us. So, I would also like to talk with Mr. Dr. Balraj.
Let us understand first of all, what do we mean by the word EPR? It is basically a responsibility given to a person for doing a particular job under the law. Please collect this old battery before giving the new battery. That will become a EPR for you to start with, because you are not in a stage that you can set up any recycling plant at this moment, because this is not viable today at least set up a system of collection at this moment, and then later on when the viability comes, think about it. But in the meantime, have a backup tie-up with somebody, manufacturers, like these are people, whatever batteries are collected, we'll give it to you. So this is how the system works, and you can gradually improve on it. I hope I've explained you the term EPR.
Representation from the importer side, Akash sir हामीसँग हुनुहुन्छ. So Akash sir, as an importer, how do you feel like as an importer, यसलाई हामीले चाहिँ के जिम्मेवारी लिनुपर्छ होला?
When a rule is being made, it will be made on importers, and we are at the end of getting all the trouble. But many things are not under our capacity. Another thing is, in Nepal, to export the battery for importer, there has to be certain value, and so far, battery importers, they are taking battery at zero cost. So battery is made in China or maybe India somewhere. Country of origin is that. But now vehicle, that battery is here, scrap is being made here. So what country of origin will that have? If I mention Nepal, it is wrong discoloration, I'll be behind bars. If I put made in India or made in China, that scrap, can I export? So government needs to make a rule so that what we should do and what happens.
Now we have been registering, registration of electric vehicles is done by registering the chassis number, the BIN, and as well as the motor numbers. But we do not register the battery numbers. But the batteries now have the unique identification number. So why don't we start with registering the batteries as well, so that we can keep track of the batteries. So when you have the tracking of all these things, then the question of exporting should not come in. So when we will have those frameworks in place, then this should, address all these difficulties or the challenges that we might have.
हरेक व्यवसायीले इन्भेस्ट गर्न जरुरी छ र एउटा तपाईहरुले बास्केट फन्ड बनाएर नेपालमा रिसाइक्लिङमा पनि सुरुवाती दिनमा अहिले लोहमबाट सरले भनेको जस्तो कलेक्ट गर्ने, डिसमेन्टल गर्ने र केही चीजहरुलाई छुट्याएर काम सुरुवात गर्दै जाने र कालान्तरमा 4, 5, 7, 10 वर्षपछि एउटा लेभलमा चाहिँ त्यसलाई उद्योगको रूपमा पुर्याउने गरी जानुपर्छ र जसले स्केलमा गाडी बेच्छ त्यही स्केलमा त्यसले त्यहाँ इक्विटी लगाउनुपर्छ र कम्पनी बनाउनुपर्छ। अन्त पठाउने कुरा गरेर हामी हरेक चीजमा अन्त पठाउने, हामी चाहिँ ल्याबोरेटरीबाट बाहिर निस्किने होइन क्या। हामीले त्यो जुन खालको जोखिम राज्यले अहिले लिएर जुन खालको वातावरण इलेक्ट्रिक भेहिकलको लागि बनाइदिएको छ, यहाँ अहिले व्यवसाय गर्नेहरूले नै त्यसमा चाहिँ लगानी थप गर्नुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ।
अहिले यो जुन इथेनोल बेस हामीसँग कुरा आइरहेछ 6 अर्ब बज्दैछ देशको भनेर, यसमा चाहिँ मलाई ब्याकवर्ड क्याल्कुलेसन गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अलिकति नमिलेको क्यालकुलेसन लाग्दछ होइन यदि त्यो कस्ट बचेको चाहिँ कसको हो भन्ने कुरा हो कि पेमेन्टको मोडालिटी डाइभर्ट भएको हो मात्र जस्तो मेरो इनिसियल भाव छ होइन
So now we have to have a trade-off between, as you said, whether it is more beneficial to have the, blended petrol imported or we blend it here. So that is where the government now has to have, better in-depth calculations and see whether it is actually benefiting us in import substitution, or is it going to have, negative impact on the technologies, like, if it is not compliant for ethanol blended fuel, then we have to double check and we have to think twice before we land up.
Let me make the thing little more complicated for you. When you are thinking of introducing, say, E10 fuel in the country, you must remember you have got vehicles. Whatever existing population of the vehicle, they are not E10 compliant. You have to provide them 100% petrol for that.
Thank you very much to our panel. I think it has been an extremely fruitful discussion today. Mr. Banod, Karan, Jatin, Sureshji, Sagarji, Akash, and of course our moderator, Deepakji has done a fantastic job. I know it is very, very industry specific, and I'm so glad it's going live because we will have a recording, we'll have a way to go back to it. My learning from today is that, we are in a very, very dynamic industry. We are amongst a very dynamic technological field. The whole ecosystem of transport is very, very dynamic, forever changing, and we have to keep up with it. At the same time, we see a lot of gaps in the volume of the business and the policies that we are making at the same time. I'm glad that the new government has at least made the first effort of changing this act in 33 years, where I don't know where the technology has come in all this time. So keeping this in mind, we do see a huge gap between making it on paper and having it implemented in person, right from the registration to bringing it onto the roadworthiness test, the testing facilities, technicians behind those German machines, who are they? Everything needs a good thought behind, because just the machine itself cannot do, the system, the policy cannot do. We have to have a way to execute it, and I really hope that with the new government, they will take the private sector, the people who are putting a lot at stake in confidence, and will be able to come out with a great policy which is implementable.